Do you know what drugs, vaccines and implants have in common? Most of them are only approved posterior to animal testing. This is because molecular mechanisms can only be understood by analyzing them in laboratory animals. Therefore, our understanding of human diseases and the development of new therapies and cures is improved. Animal testing is almost essential for medical research, but often provokes ethical discussions. For example, it is criticized that animals have to suffer a lot from pain and inappropriate husbandry. Critical comments also regard reliability and contribution to medical progress. Thereby, 95% of drugs that enter clinical trials do not make it to the market despite promising results in animal models. Subsequently, in the research field, there is general agreement that animal testing should be kept to a minimum. As a guideline to compensate the ethical difficulty, the 3R principle was introduced by William Russell and Rex Birch in 1959. The principle describes the 3 R's: replacement, reduction, and refinement. But what do these terms stand for? Replacement. If possible, animal testing must be replaced by alternative methods. Therefore, new and improved test methods, both in vivo and in vitro, are developed and validated. It is always examined whether it is sufficient to use simple organisms such as bacteria or invertebrates, or to use cell and tissue cultures, computer models, and other alternative methods to answer the scientific question. Reduction. The number of laboratory animals need to be reduced to a necessary minimum. The central registration of the results from animal experiments and communication between scientists prevent similar experiments from being performed more than once. This can further be achieved by publishing both positive and negative results. Therefore, developing and validating new sampling methods and improving analysis of biological samples fulfill the reduction requirement. Also, it lowers costs as less animals are needed to generate solid and reproducible results. Refinement. The animals must be kept in a species-appropriate environment, for example, with sufficient space and in an environment that promotes their well-being. Stress and suffering are reduced as much as possible by constantly improving examination methods such as anesthesia, narcosis, and special animal training. Moreover, compromising the well-being of an animal can have downstream effects. These animals are often physiological and immunological abnormal, which might invalidate the conclusion made from experiments. With the European Directive on the Protection of Animals Used for Scientific Purposes, the principle of the 3 R's was legally recognized for the first time in 2010. Nowadays, this principle is broadly established in the legislation on animal protection. For example, the provisions of the European Directive and consequently the 3R principle were transposed into German law in 2013 with the amended Animal Welfare Act and the Animal Welfare Ordinance on laboratory animals. To further promote the protection of animals, the implementation of an additional R is proposed. The extension to 4 R's includes the term responsibility. This stands for improving the social life of laboratory animals and the development of consciousness and intelligence in the animal world. Also, it should actively support the professionalization of the public discourse on ethical animal issues. In conclusion, the 3R principle improves animal welfare and research results and could be extended to 4 R's.